So, how's everyone doing so far? I don't know about y'all, but this is exactly what gets me excited.
Yeah.
There is nothing like being in a room that's exuding with power. Listen, whenever you all are in the midst of greatness, look around you. Make sure that you are taking full advantage of those opportunities because they don't happen every day. So because we're here, because we're in the room, the goal is we leaving here with something. And I think that I'm so adamant about this because I understand that you have to enter into the room. You have to come in the door with the spirit of expectancy because that is the only thing that is going to open you up to receive. Declare it. I'm expecting to have a life-changing experience at this conference today. Like literally, you gotta speak that out of your mouth with power and with authority. Declare it over yourself now. I'm expecting to have a life-changing experience at this conference today. We gotta get to the point where we begin to set the tone for our day-to-day lives. Because when you set the tone, guess what? You then control the narrative, not everybody else. See, it's when we don't have an agenda. It's when we don't have an active game plan in place. Those are the times that our boats are easily rocked because we don't have anything that's anchoring us. We don't have anything of substance that's keeping us grounded. So we gotta learn to commit and get our heels dug in deep concerning some things in our lives. Like when we have these little meetings, when we have these powwows, these meeting of the minds, when we all come together for things like women empowerment conferences. We know exactly what it is that we want out of life, and we know what we are expecting to receive when we get here. All right, so really quick, let me just put a pin in it because I already see myself going. But I did want to have, the opportunity to formally introduce myself to you all. I know that she shared who I was before I came up here, but I would like it if, before you all leave here today, you feel like you know a little bit more about me. So, my name is Crystal Metellus. I go by the brand name Transformer Chris. I'm a transformation leader, I'm an author, and I'm also a speaker. I have been commissioned by God to help and assist women from all across the world from out of that place of being stuck and dormant into full activation mode, where they begin to no longer just exist in this world that we were called to dominate in, might I add. But they begin to thrive and operate more in their true purpose. One of the key factors in identifying one's true purpose is internal assessment. You have to begin to search yourself. So what I like to do is I structure all of my content, no matter if it's through book or mentorship, through speaking engagements. I structure it in such a way that makes you examine yourself. Reason being is because your true purpose lies at the core of who you really are. So many people make the mistake of going out into the world trying to find their purpose when I'm sorry to tell you, but you will not find it out there. No matter how hard you look, no matter how far you go, you will not find it. So now, why do I say that? Why do I say it? I say that because you don't find purpose, guys. You develop it. It is already in you. It's already in there. So what tends to happen as a result of people constantly going out into the world trying to find their purpose is they end up dealing with what's known as identity crisis. And identity crisis, believe it or not, is one of the leading causes of depression today. People not knowing who they are. They begin to adopt the characteristics and the practices of everyone else in pursuit to find their own true purpose. But the sad part is, whenever you do that, you'll end up losing yourself in the process. You'll end up losing yourself in the process, trying to find who you are in somebody else. Let me ask you all a question. And this is a rhetorical question in terms of answering me. But it is a very real question in terms of answering it for yourself. If you work so hard to look like her, if you go practice sounding like him, if you go out into the world acting like them, then where are you? Where are you in that equation? Well, I can tell you exactly where you are, because inevitably you will begin to fade away because you are trying to live a life that is not your own. And that is identity crisis.
That's good. That's good.
There's this quote that I wrote in my book, and I quote that's over there on the vendor's table. And the quote says, "If I mask myself for you, then I hide myself from me." How many of us in this room are hiding in plain sight? How many? Again, a rhetorical question in terms of answering me. But it is a very legit question that we all need to answer for ourselves. Because that is the only way that we are going to truly find out who it is that we really are, who we were really called to be, who we were really born to be. So now let me just take a brief moment to clarify this so that we all understand. Because that grace that's being afforded for your greatness, that's attached to who you were born to be, not who you pretend to be. So that's the reason why a lot of us are missing it. We gotta tap into who we were born to be. So let's clarify this mask thing. Because there is a significant difference between you putting on many hats, like a lot of us do, as opposed to you wearing many masks. What's the difference? Different hats means that your role as it pertains to duty changes. Different masks means that your role as it pertains to identity changes. Completely different. It's completely different. So now, why do I tell you that it is more permissible for you to partake in one, but then I caution you that it is wise for you to steer clear of the other? I'm gonna give you all a very precise example, and don't worry, I'm gonna use myself as a safety net. I'm not about to shine light on nobody else's situation. But no, I honestly believe that this word is reconstructional enough on its own to do that for itself. So now, I can put on my mom hat with my kids where I'm stern. But then I could put on my wife hat with my husband where I'm a little more vulnerable. I can then put on my boss hat at work where I'm assertive. And then turn right around and put on my party hat with my family and friends where I'm a lot more easygoing and silly, right? All still me. Many characteristics, but one authentic identity. That's the difference. So what I'm trying to get you all to see today is the correlating factor that takes place with you putting on many masks is that you're pretending to be someone that you're not, when God is looking to bless who we really are. It's that deep, y'all. God is looking to bless who we really are. So because we serve a God that don't make mistakes. How many believe we serve a God that don't make mistakes? The thing about it is, instead of saying it, we got to live it. So because we serve a God that don't make mistakes, that is the only confirmation that you need to know that the real, unmasked, unfiltered version of you is all that he needs to get you to that place of greatness that he's calling you to. You're already enough. The world will try to trick us into believing that we're not enough. And we start altering the master's design. You are already enough. And I'm speaking to every last one of you in here today, because God don't make mistakes. And he made you. He created you. He called you his. You are his chosen people. So we got to learn to take God at his word. We only got 2 jobs. And those 2 jobs are to take him at his word and then allow him the opportunity to do it through us. 2 jobs. So it's no more playing down our greatness or feeling like we have to pretend to be someone that we're not. Because let me say this. Whenever you have to pretend to be someone that you're not in order to fit in anywhere, the reality is the real you was never welcome there.
That's good.
Because the real you never even showed up. And I'm speaking to y'all from experience. These are all different chapters and phases that unfolded in my life over time that got me to this place today. When I was going through those things, I didn't always understand. So I had questions. Why? Why me, God? And then God said, I'm using you to be a tour guide. And you can't take nobody nowhere you've never been. So this journey that I'm up here trying to entice you all to come along on, it's going to take you to a place of freedom. Because the world would love to have us all live in bondage. Freedom starts in your mind first. You got to think yourself out of captivity. So, I said that I wasn't going to be up here long, but it was some key points that, I did want to touch on. Because the enemy would love to get us into a place where we have lifelong insecurity. And we suffer from things like low self-esteem and lack of confidence. And then those things then opens the door to the spirit of comparison. And we all know that the spirit of comparison is the thief of joy. So we wonder why so many people walking around depressed. So many people walking around with fake smiles plastered on their face. So many people walk around every day with the absence of happiness. It's because of the spirit of comparison. And it came to do just that. It is a very intentional assignment on our lives. Exactly what it sought out to do, that is what it has been accomplishing. And there's so many people around us, so many people in our families, so many people at our workplaces, so many people that we look at and idolize on social media that is contending with this torment and demon every single day. And guess what? Because of pride, because of shame, They are fighting that battle alone and losing. But somebody say it's a new season.
It's a new season.
And I know that's something that we all like to say, it's a new season. I know that's the lyrics in some of our favorite songs. So we just, spit it out there. But no, it's actually a new season that we are entering in today. And I've been sitting here on assignment to tell some people that it is time for you to come out of hiding. Because God is summoning your authenticity. Not who you want to be. He's not summoning who you pretend to be. He's not summoning who they want you to be. He's summoning who you really are, who you were born to be. He's summoning your authenticity. Because that's what's going to carry you through this next chapter of life that he's setting you up for. So it is time for us all to reach down deep into that place that lies on the inside of us, that place that's been asleep, that place that's been packed away for years, that place that nobody else knows about but you and God. That place. It's time for us to tap down in that place because he's releasing grace for your greatness. Yes. So make sure that you don't miss it. I'm up here before you all today for one reason. And that one reason is make sure none of us in this room misses it. So that's all I got for y'all.